We have arrived at the Marina-based street circuit just next door to the city's marina for the running of the Singapore Grand Prix, the second of 3 night races this season. Coming into this week, 3 massive team news have been a huge talking point this week. The first big news of this week is that Florian Volker, after 4 years with the prancing horse, will be leaving Ferrari at the end of the season and will be joining their German rivals Mercedes for 2018. Florian has had a resurgence of form in 2017 after a disastrous defence of his title in 2016. He currently lies 6th in the Drivers' Championship, having crashed out of the last 3 races, and Ferrari lies 2nd, 9 points back from new leaders and the team that he'll be joining, Mercedes. During the silly season, rumours were circulating that Florian wanted a new challenge in 2018, and the announcement from Mercedes has confirmed all of those rumours. Florian will be leaving behind a lot of good memories from Ferrari, such as 2015 where he became Ferrari's first world champion in GP4OC history, which also led to Ferrari winning their first Constructors' crown as well. He'll be looking to have a good year with Mercedes next year and hope to compete for a record 5th world title if he is unable to reduce the deficit between himself and his teammate Joseph Willows. He will be replacing Will Neller, who will be retiring from the top class at the end of the season, with him rumoured to be potentially returning to DTM next season. However, the only question remaining at Mercedes is will they have a new lineup, with Jay McKenzie's future at the team being a question for some time due to the fact that Franco Lopez is in contention of being Florian's teammate next year. However, given that Jay has had some strong results recently, including his win at the Nürburgring, it does appear, like with Michael Moccia and Tulavinau Terranon with the second Force India seat, that Franco Lopez and Jay McKenzie will be duking it out to be Florian's teammate for next year. Meanwhile, their rivals Ferrari were very quick to announce Florian's replacement for next year as soon as the news came out that the 4-time champion was off to Mercedes. They have announced that 4-time race winner and current Red Bull driver Amar Kar will be joining the team in 2018. Amar's had an amazing 2017 season with 3 victories to his name so far. He currently lies 4th in the Drivers' Championship, where he's in a close fight for 3rd with the likes of Jay McKenzie, teammate Miklos Gau and Florian Volker, and his team Red Bull currently lie 3rd in the Constructors. Amar's move to Ferrari means that he will partner alongside current championship leader Joseph Willows for next year, who he has had many on-track battles with in the past 3 and a bit seasons. He'll be looking to have a strong year in 2018 and try and compete for his first World Championship if he is unable to claw back the deficit to Joseph Willows this season. This will mean that Miklos Gau, who was confirmed to be remaining at Red Bull for 2018 last week, will be having a new teammate next year. Rick Yan is rumoured with a possible move to Red Bull next year, however another candidate has crept up in the form of Rick's current teammate Franco Lopez, as if Franco misses out on the Mercedes drive, he does have a chance to be Miklos' teammate next year should he miss out. If that were the case, then it would be more likely that one of the current Force India drivers will be missing out on the drive for next year, given that Roland Mottram was confirmed to be returning to the Silverstone-based team last week, and the fact that, as we have mentioned earlier, that Michael Moccia and Tulavinau Terranon are the more likely candidates to be Roland's teammate for next year. It will be very interesting to see what will happen in these final 7 races. The third and final team news of this week concerns Sauber, as they have announced that DTM Championship leader Gabriel Gomez will be returning to the top class next year with the Swiss outlet. Gabriel has had an amazing 2017 season in DTM, having missed out on a top class drive this season. He is currently having an amazing season this year, with him dominating the DTM Championship, something unheard of in the entirety of Tier 3 existing. He has taken 2 wins this year and has been more consistent than any of his rivals this year. Gabriel will be returning to the top class in 2018, having previously raced in 2016 with Haas, where in Malaysia he took to date the team's only podium finish in the OC, finishing 3rd. He missed out on a top class drive for 2017, having messed up his choices, which is why he ended up being Force India's test and reserve driver for this season. Gabriel will be relieved to be back in the top class next season and will be looking to stay in it for a lot longer. He will partner alongside Paolino Tomaselli for next year, who he was last teammates with in 2015 when they both won the team's title for racing engineering in GP2, with the pair finishing 2nd and 3rd respectively in the championship, with Gabriel just missing out on the title to current Renault driver Tulavinau Terranon. His announcement also means that Felix Sontag will be leaving the team at the end of the season. However, this doesn't necessarily mean career over for Felix, as fans of him will be delighted to know that he is linked with a possible move to Williams for next year, the team that he last drove for in 2006, where he got his first ever GP4OC win at the Spanish Grand Prix. GP2 drivers Lean Campana and Thomas Anderson are also candidates for a Williams drive in 2018 along with Felix. It'll be very interesting to see who Williams chooses to fill those 2 seats for next year. And finally, in other news, this year's Singapore Grand Prix will see the welcome return of the infamous Singapore Sling. For the last couple of seasons, when JWF1 was the temporary host, the Singapore Sling was not featured on the track, as the 2013 version, which is the version JWF1 used, worked okay for the last 2 seasons, despite its dodgy Turn 1. However, Yuri will be reverting back to the sling version due to the modern day GP4OC cars which were introduced this season not working on the 2013 version. Yuri has claimed that he has managed to finally sort the Singapore sling version out with these modern cars, and it'll be very interesting to see whether that becomes a reality or whether we'll be in for another attrition-filled race like in 2014. And that is it for this week's edition of the GP4OC News. The next team news will break at the Malaysian Grand Prix next week, who will be announced tuning to practice next week at what could be the final ever Malaysian Grand Prix.